Alright, so got the new 5.7 gallon IMS tank for the 450L and RL. Big, massive difference. The weight doesn't feel any different. I forgot to scale it before I put the fuel pump on, but you know, not much of a weight difference I can tell by hand. So easy installation. You mount the bracket, seat bracket, tank bracket, and I'll show you the rest of that installation because it comes with a lot of parts that you can't tell, you know, what they go to, and it's hard to tell the measurements from the instructions. But yeah, here's the list of parts. Kind of hard to tell the different bolts and everything apart. Also, I got to do that still, the cutting. But I'll do that after I get the tank mounted and fill it up. So, wanted to show some of the pieces where you mount the rubber washer. You mount one right here with a bolt, and then you mount one right here. Then, of course, you mount it on the other side. I've already test fitted it. The tank does fit on. My radiators are a little bent from the previous owner, but it's pretty easy, straightforward. Longest time is taking, you know, organizing my bolt set here. But yeah, I'm gonna solder the tank on, get the fuel line and fuel pump connector all connected. It's a little bit of a task because of the just shape of the gas tank and where you can reach. So I'm gonna struggle with that for a minute, get it on, and start bolting it together. And this L bracket goes on the left lower side, or left back side. All right, we got the tank mounted. Got it bolted in with this L bracket down here. Nice, good fit. Ooh. So that's something just noted. I have to take these off to run this tank. So blinkers are hitting at full lock. Just some things to take note of. So I trimmed up the left side, fits perfect. Per the instructions, it only mentions the left side, but I went to go mount the right side, and you know, kind of has the same pieces there. For this to mount flush, I'm gonna have to trim all of that out if I want it mounting flush. So I don't know if it's because it's RL, I don't know. So I'm gonna just shave this all off to let it mount flush. All right, so I did make the changes of taking the blinkers off, or sorry, not the blinkers. That's another story. They do touch, like I said earlier. Not bad, just at full lock, they barely touch the tank, so might not be too worried about that. I took reflectors off is what I meant. The fairings. So in the instructions it says just shave off the left side, that little inner placeholder. I had to shave it off on the right side too to make it flush mount fit. Everything fits good. Like this is what the pictures look like. So that's how the tank was made. The only thing I had an issue with, I probably read the instructions wrong. I got these bolts in and I put this, you know, like step up washer with the bolt there. But right here, there's just a big old gap, and it might be because of my plastics are a little messed up from previous owner wreck and everything. But it's the same on this side too. So I'm just gonna find a longer bolt and, you know, like a washer just to, before I fill it up with gas, I wanted to measure out 1 gallon of gas. and, you know, fill it up incrementally so I can make little, you know, Sharpie marks in the tank to kind of be my fuel gauge to, you know, guesstimate how much fuel I have in there. The Honda has a pretty accurate estimated gallons used and miles per gallon and all that, but it still would be nice just to be able to look at the gas tank and be able to tell, oh, you know, I have 2 or 3 gallons and run it with 2 or 3 gallons instead of topping it to 5 gallons every time. So that's it. It went pretty well. I think really the biggest struggle I had was reconnecting the, you know, fuel pump, which, you know, I might have found a system for it, but it's just pretty tough to get it, you know, reseated in there and clipped in. Yeah, that's been installed. It's pretty wide, but that's the point. It's supposed to get me a long distance. So I don't have to carry around the fuel bag anymore. So yeah, hopefully this helps anyone that's installing their own IMS 5.7 gallon tank. Just let me know what you think. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. So here we are with 1 gallon of fuel. This is it in the wings, about right there. And then inside, it's hard to tell, but I can get it to focus. It is, it's hard to tell, but it is able to splash back and splash back. It's you know, as it's sitting here, it's able to flow back and forth just at the very top of the gas level. So that's one of those, when you get down to 1 gallon, you might have to be on and off the throttle a little bit more to make it pick up fuel. That's one of those we'll just find out, you know, on the road or the woods how well it works. So we'll top it up with a 2nd gallon and see where the mark is. Now we have 4 gallons in it. So it's my 1 gallon, 2 gallon, 3 gallon. And then I made a 4 gallon mark here. I did it on both sides. They're pretty similar. I tried my best to balance it halfway, you know, in the middle. Used a little contraption there and even, you know, would tilt it just the slightest little bit by hand and kind of balance with my hand. It was close, I'm sure. You know, my bike, you know, how I have it set on here isn't completely flush or equal or whatever you want to call it, but so that's 4 gallons. As you can see, it's slightly leaning to the left, so it probably has room for, you know, another, you know, according to their measurements, another 1.5 gallons basically. So that's where we are now. So there we go. So a lot of room to go. So perfect for very long trips, or, you know, like this bike runs on premium, which, you know, with the map switch, I can put in a map 2 and it'll put it in a, you know, different timing mode, but still I'd rather be able to just keep it with 93 or top it off with 93, and then when I have to stop and fill up at 87, it's diluted and won't be affected. Is running the timing, you know, retarded timing will make this bike at least go from 50-ish miles to the gallon to 40, or even worse off-road. So just something to keep in mind. And yeah, we'll do some real world testing and feel, you know, how heavy it actually feels with 4 or 5 gallons. Right now, it honestly just it does feel a little bit heavy, but I mean, that's the trade-off. I mean, it's better than carrying with my luggage, carrying that fuel bag on top of it. So